In order to show you what they get up to when we're not watching, I put up 4 trail cameras throughout the Hoedspruit Wildlife Estate. And in this episode, I'll share all the best sightings from the last couple of months with you, including the curious, the rare, the itchy, the naughty, the unexpected, and even the flat-out unbelievable. Welcome to episode 2 of the Wildlife Estate Diaries, brought to you by Africa House. I use small solar-powered trail cameras, and each one is named after the viewer that sponsored it. Sharon Thorpe's camera was placed at the sandy inlet of Heron Dam, close to the eastern tip of the estate. It overlooks a very prominent tree, and from the moment that I first saw it, I knew that it would be a great spot to monitor because plenty of animals would have to walk past it to get to and from the waterhole. Kudus, zebras, impalas, blue wildebeest, giraffe, warthogs, waterbuck, guinea fowl, spotted hyena, and even leopard. In fact, because of its shape, size, and location, I knew that the leopards that lived in the estate would love this tree. It acts as a kind of message board where individuals can leave their scent by rubbing their faces on it, urinating on it, and basically making their presence known. Others would then come past and catch up on the latest news. On the 10th of May, an old one-eyed female known as Kulua used the tree to sharpen her claws. Just look how beautiful she posed, and if I'm not mistaken, that belly of hers looked like it might have cubbies inside. When I first saw this clip, I thought that it couldn't get any better, but I was wrong. Every morning after a leopard had walked past, the resident common duiker would nervously sniff the area. And it's crazy to think that the same path also gets used by the estate residents. But if you ask me, that's what makes this place so special. Plenty of animals also fed around the tree. Nyalas, duikers, kudus, impalas, and giraffe, which would often browse on the actual tree itself. Zebras were particularly fond of it and regularly came down to use it as a scratching post. And they weren't the only animals that visited the tree when they had an itch. Sharon's camera also beautifully captured the impala rutting behavior displayed in early winter, as noisy, adrenaline-filled rams chased the poor females around throughout the day and night. Right on the other side of the Hoedspruit Wildlife Estate, close to Fish Eagle Dam, Peter Maas's camera faces a well-used game trail. In the first week, a young male leopard came past, and I knew that this spot would produce some great clips. It acts as a highway for all kinds of species, presumably as they make their way to and from Fish Eagle Dam. Highlights included a little genet posing beautifully in front of the camera, a vervet monkey just enjoying the morning sunlight before strolling off into the distance, more leopards walking past, a porcupine late for a dinner party, 3 honey badgers probably late for the same dinner party, and even a steenbok, a small antelope that we very seldom see in the estate. Peter's camera also captured its fair share of curious animals. The naughtiest animal captured here, however, was a civet that comes around every now and again to leave a sticky anal paste on the trail camera stake, arguably the worst smelling thing in the natural world. My favorite clips here, however, were of birds. A nightjar frequently sat right in front of the camera and hunted flying insects. Out of my way! And this, I believe, is a fork-tailed drongo sitting on top of the camera while displaying. The other two trail cameras both face burrows, one along Guinea Road in the center of the estate, and one along a game path between Rotsvay Gravel and Babbler Roads in the northeast of the estate. The camera along Guinea Road still needs a name, so email me if you're keen to sponsor it. It faces one of the largest termite mounds in the whole estate and has multiple burrows around it. I decided to place the camera on the western side, facing one of the most active holes. It seems to be used by different warthog families, and I've seen up to 10 piglets here together. One massive male also seems to sleep here on most evenings. He's got dark patches under his eyes, enormous warts, and a distinctive blunt left tusk. He was often captured here with the females and piglets, and made a habit of resting in front of the hole. At first I was convinced that he was the only male using this termite mound. That's until I captured two other males here at the same time, suggesting that sleeping rights in these burrows are first come, first served. Typically, the warthogs would arrive at the burrows late in the afternoon, often reversing in to ensure that their pointy ends faced the hole entrance. And then around sunrise each morning, they would carefully emerge, either leaving slowly and cautiously or dashing out at the speed of light. And it quickly became clear why they did this. On multiple occasions, leopards showed up to investigate the holes, obviously hoping that warthog was on the menu. Would one of them really jump down one of these holes and risk serious injury just for a bit of bacon? Surely not. At first, kudus, giraffes, and mongooses were the only other mammals to come past the mound, along with a few bird species. But then in June, two different hyenas started showing up, showing real interest in the burrows. Perhaps they were looking for a den of their own. And on the 25th of June, a porcupine showed up, and behind it was a mouse. Surprisingly, the only other creatures that shared these burrows with the warthogs were bats. I'm not exactly sure which species of bat this is, but if you have an idea, let me know in the comments down below. The most remarkable action came from Karen Pelz's camera, which faces the Rotsvay burrows. Some interesting creatures made an appearance here, including a one-eyed African wildcat, a scrub hare, and a honey badger. There was also plenty of spotted hyena activity here, and one sneaky individual liked my camera a little bit too much. Luckily, it was unscathed and able to record all the comings and goings of the main burrow residents, the warthogs. The most I recorded here at any one time was 7, and the male that sleeps here from time to time is also enormous. Over the past couple of months, the warthog families that live here diligently cleaned their homes, regularly getting rid of all the gunk that must collect inside every night. In general, they had a very similar routine to the ones that live in the guinea fowl mound. Arrive around sunset and reverse into the hole, and then exit the hole slowly and cautiously, or very quickly early the following morning. And for good reason, because here too leopards were lurking. Kulua, the old one-eyed female, walked past once and showed a little more interest on another occasion. But it's a younger adult female named Zaha that was clearly very interested in the contents of the burrows. On the 23rd of May, just before sunrise, she made an appearance for the first time, carefully listening at the entrance of the biggest hole. She then returned 5 days later, shortly after sunset, and did exactly the same thing. she was very patient because over an hour later, at 5 minutes past 7, the most amazing thing happened. Piglet for dinner. She was back to check the burrows on the 6th of June and again on the 12th. But on the 15th of June, a family of porcupines decided to move in. It took them ages to decide which hole to use, probably because many were already being occupied by the warthogs. But the following night they were back, and one of the adults even brought a midnight snack into the burrow. The spiky new residents weren't enough to keep Zaha away. An early morning on the 18th, she carefully investigated all the entrances, even crouching down, ready to pounce at some stage. Half an hour later, though, she had given up, and the following evening, I captured the 2 new neighbors together on camera for the first time. Zaha, however, was not done, and on the 21st, she caught another piglet. I just knew when I first put Karen's camera here that we would capture some amazing animal behavior, but never in my wildest dreams did I think we would actually see a leopard kill. Now, I'll tell you a little bit more about Zaha, Kalua and all the other leopards that live here in the Hoedspruit Wildlife Estate once I have a better idea of who uses the area and how regularly they come in and out. Now, a massive thank you to everybody that sponsored trail cameras. What that means is I can put a few more of them out, including this one that's going to be facing my favorite waterhole in the estate. But before we do that, let me quickly tell you more about this month's featured lodge. Africa House is located in the heart of the Hoedspruit Wildlife Estate and can accommodate up to 6 people in 3 luxurious air-conditioned bedrooms, each with an ensuite bathroom. You can prepare your own food in the fully equipped kitchen, or dine close by in one of Hoedspruit's many great restaurants. Feel close to nature by enjoying one of the lodge's comfortable outdoor spaces or exploring the estate's green belt, where there are game drive routes, bird hides overlooking waterholes, as well as a great network of single tracks for walking or cycling. And if you want to see and photograph the Big Five, Africa House is less than an hour's drive away from the world-famous Kruger National Park and other private game reserves. I've left a link to the Africa House website in the video description if you want to check it out or make a booking. Now, this trail camera was sponsored by David Rowe, and he asked me to name it after his daughter Dia, and after some careful consideration we decided to put it up at Hamerkop Dam, right in the center of the Hoedspruit Wildlife Estate. Now, the support for the Wildlife Estate Diaries was absolutely overwhelming after episode 1. And if you guys would like to get involved and show your support, there's a number of different ways that you can do that. First of all, you can email me like David did if you want to sponsor a trail camera. Secondly, you could become a Patreon member like all these awesome people. And that's basically making a small monthly donation in return for some rewards like mentions in the video or early access to the videos. And then lastly, you could also order these amazing bird shirts like this one I'm wearing right now from the Firefinch store. It's basically an online order, and there's loads of different Southern African species to choose from in different colors in both men's and ladies t-shirts. So go and check that out. Firefinch also makes a very awesome bird app that I use, so I'll add that link together with all the others at the top of the video description. For now, let's go put up that trail camera. There we go. As you can see, Dia's camera now faces this sandy part of Hamerkop Dam, where most of the animals drink, and I'm pretty sure we're going to get lots of action over the coming months because it's already very dry here in the Hoedspruit Wildlife Estate. I'll be posting the best clips from this camera and all the other cameras, old and new, in upcoming episodes of the Wildlife Estate Diaries. But if you want to watch the highlights from the last 2 months without having to listen to my voice, go and check out this video now. Thank you so much for watching.